two things we're going to do. We're going to learn how to set up an invite, and we're going to learn how to accept an invite and participate in a Google Hangout. Okay, so the first thing we always do is we open Chrome and we go into Chrome and we sign in. So I'm going to sign into my my Envision Ed Plus account, okay, because this is the one I want to invite clients to come to the video conference and see what's going on. And the simplest way to do this is we start by going into Calendar. Okay, and you can see I've set up a bunch of little tests right here throughout the day, just kind of making sure everything works out okay. But I'm going to create a new one. In fact, I'm going to decline this one and just get it off the page. But I'm going to make a new event, okay, and from the calendar, so make sure you're on the right profile, and I click, I'm making a new event, okay, and what am I going to call it? So I'm going to call it another Hangout test. All right, so that's what I'm going to call it, another Hangout test. And I'm going to create event. Okay, and so now my event is created, but I need some details on here. Okay, so it's not an all-day event. Right now it's 7:25. I'm just going to make it for 7:27, you know, just like a couple minutes from now. And then, you know, you can enter your details. I definitely want to invite a guest. So who's the guest that I'm going to invite? I'm probably going to invite my Google test, because that's the guinea pig email that I've been using for these tutorials. Okay. So I've invited that person, and what's the last thing I need to do? Right here, see this add video call. They just added this feature recently, and it's very useful. So you just click add video call. That simple. The video call is there. So I hit save, and it's going to ask me, do I want to send my invitations? Yes, I'm going to send my invitations. Okay, so here's my another Hangout test right here, okay, on my calendar. And when I click on it, you see this join video call that's right there. That's what you're going to click on to go do your call. Okay, now remember, I'm the one who scheduled this event. Okay, so now we need to see what it looks like on the other end. Okay, so I'm going to sign out of my account, and I'm going to sign in as Google Test. Sign in. Alright, and you can see right away when I get into my calendar, see how it's right there, and it's asking me to accept. Okay, so I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to say yes, I'm going. Boom. It's on my calendar, and when I click on the event, there it is, join video call. So when that event comes around, okay, so if it's Wednesday the 7th and then it's the 10th, you see you got to be on this call, you click on it and you join video call. It's as simple as that. So I've opened up my email, and look, there it is. There's my invitation. Invitation, another Hangout test. It's got the date, it's got the time, everything's there. So between my calendar, okay, and my email, I have access to this information. There it is, join video call, okay? So let's go through our paper real quick and make sure we're all set up. First thing we did was sign into Google. Next thing we did was go into our calendar, okay? We set up the event, and here it is right here on our calendar. And then we made sure to add the video call option, okay? Click join video call. That's what's going to end up happening. And then here we are in the email mode. Okay, the email comes in, you open it up, and there's the invitation right there with the join video call, okay? Makes sense? So what's the next step? All right, so now we want to get into this Hangout. That's what we need to do. And, you know, whether I do it from my calendar or whether I do it from my email, doesn't matter. So I'm just going to click join video call. But remember, I want to make sure, am I logged in as the right person? Yes, I'm Google.test. I was invited to this meeting. You know, I'm ready to go. So I'm going to join. So join, that's what's going to end up being really important. See, that's why I've got that circled right here, join, okay? You have to join it to actually enter the Hangout, okay? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to click join right now, okay? And nothing's really going to change on your dashboard. It's just going to give you these options on the side, and you're going to see people down here. You're going to see their faces. So, for example, see this Hangout that I was doing with Craig and Michelle. See how they're down here in my corner? Here's Craig, here's Michelle, and then here's me full screen. They would be down here in the corner as their tiles, okay? And then here's the tools. Like, the reason I have these circled is because, check this out over here on the left. Well, first of all, this is how you can leave the call. You can do settings for your computer, what you want your microphone and your speakers to do. You can turn off your video, okay? So if you don't want to be on a video screen, you know, showing your face to everybody. If you just got out of the shower and you've got to do some work at the office or whatever, and you don't want to be on a screen share, it's that simple. Just turn it on or turn it off. And you can also mute your microphone so that people can't hear you talking. If you've got like a phone ringing or if you've got a dog barking, you can just click mute and it won't, you know, go into the conference call. And then you can invite people in real time. And plus there's a link right down here and a button to invite. They make it pretty simple for you to get as many people involved in the Hangout as possible. So if I can go into the tools that I wanted to show you. So if I click here for chat, all right, so see this chat box right down here? Now this is gonna go out to everybody who's in the Hangout. Okay, so if I've got 5 people in this Hangout, when I type in that chat, they're going to read that. Everybody in the meeting is going to read that. And think about this for a second. If you're working with someone who isn't able to do video or isn't able to provide audio, this is how they can communicate with you, is they can use the chat box, okay? So you're not completely out of luck if you don't have a webcam or if you don't have a microphone, okay? There's still a way for you to join the Hangout and communicate with everyone who's in the Hangout, okay? It can still be done. So let me show you another tool. Well, you saw how my face got small. See how I can click it, big, small, that whole thing. And then, so that's the chat box. So the chat box is really useful, really helpful. And then if I go into screen share, okay, this is important too. Screen share right here in the left. All right, so if I go up here real quick, I can actually click on this little icon right here and share my screen. Okay, and it's going to ask me, do I want to do the whole screen, just my Google tab, that's this tab, or do I want to do my document, my Microsoft Word document? You can do entire screen. If you click entire screen and share, they're going to see everything that you do. Okay, so everything that you see right now, because I'm recording my screen, this is what people would be seeing. So they would see you go into your folders, they would see you go into you know, all kinds of stuff. They would pull you into everything that they're doing on their computer screen, okay? And here's how you stop that. Stop sharing, okay? So if I stop sharing, I'm not sharing my screen anymore. But something you got to think about, you may not want to share your entire screen. You just may want to share a specific document, and then you got to go do other stuff on your computer. You don't want people getting, you know, getting distracted by what's all on your screen, okay? So to do that, you just click screen share, and then you select the actual document that you want to share, okay? So I got to make sure that my document is pulled up. See how it does that? If it's pulled up, it'll give me the option to share it. If it's not pulled up on my screen, it'll take it away. All right, so I got to make sure that I've got that flat on my desktop, and then I can actually click on my document and press share. And then that is my screen share, okay? This is all everybody's seeing. So even if I go into my back end and start playing around with this stuff and start playing around with my folders, they're not going to see that. You see this? So if I'm doing this whole thing, if I'm sharing my entire screen, they're seeing everything that I'm doing. But if I'm sharing just a specific thing, like my Word document, that's all they're seeing. Okay, so I can scroll down, scroll up in different parts of the document, and that's what people are looking at on their screen. It's a really great way to share information. But what's also important is you will notice that when someone is sharing their screen, it's going to show up on their tile, like the little personal tile that they have. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing real quick and show you what I'm talking about. You see this tile right here, how it says you? All right, well, that's my tile. Now, if Craig and Michelle were in this meeting with me like they are here, you know, their heads would be down there too. They would be down here. So what ends up happening is when Craig shows me a document, all right, so he goes up into his left-hand side, he clicks on screen share, and he shows to either show his entire screen or just a specific document, okay? Either way. I can see in his tile that he's sharing his screen, but that's really tiny. You know, how am I gonna read that? All you got to do is click on that person's tile. Okay, see how I minimize myself, maximize myself, minimize myself, just like you would an internet window or any kind of window that you use. Okay, it works the same way. But it's really important to pay attention to who's sharing and that you're clicking on their tile so it's full screen so you can see everything that they're sharing with you, okay? So that's why I have that section circled off right there. And then you can see their screen. All right, Pretty simple. Now, I gave an appendix because there are, there's an actual Google Hangout. There's a hangouts.google.com. I don't like doing it this way. These are like hopping into like Hangouts immediately, like you're setting up a phone call or something like that and just like calling your aunt in Florida or something, like here and now. So for our purposes, for professional purposes, we like to schedule Hangouts. So this is just another way to do it. And also, like I said, you can do this in Google Plus, but I don't recommend it because you can't have too many. Like Google Plus is just kind of tricky because you got to have multiple accounts when you're in business, and Google Plus only lets you have only a handful of accounts tied to the same cell phone. Okay, so if I don't have multiple cell phones, so as your business goes, you may have more Google Plus accounts, but you can see right up here it says Google Plus Hangouts. So Hangouts used to be a part of Google Plus, and now it's just a part of the Google platform. They're just trying to expand it to more people. So what we're left with is the simplicity of using strictly the calendar and our email to manage invites. Okay, so you set up an invite in your Google Calendar and you invite people, and that's how you set up the invitation. Okay, you can also join from Google Calendar, and if you're someone receiving an invitation, whatever email you give us, okay, so my google.test is what I would give EnvisionEd Plus. All right, I gave them this email, so they invited me. All I got to do is click that join the call, and then it pulls me into Hangouts. And then really the most critical thing you've got to remember, after clicking join that call, is making sure that you click this green button down at the bottom that says join, okay? And then you've got all these tools at your disposal. The chat is fun, but most importantly, the screen share is what you're going to be using the most, okay? Because you're going to be showing documents or whatever kind of information you have on your screen with other people. So I think that's pretty much the gist of it. It's kind of a lot to take in, I know, but all you have to remember just to stay calm about the whole thing is calendar, join the call, Google Hangouts, and that's it. And remember, you can always turn your camera off and just be your little emoticon. So good luck, and if you have any questions, just let me know. Thanks, everyone.